Hey there guys, in today's video we're going to be doing a review and shooting test for the Airsoft A&K SVD Dragunov bolt action sniper rifle. To go over some overall specs for the gun, it shoots around 410 to 400 FPS depending on what kind of BB you're using. This is also a spring powered sniper rifle, and for the length it's about 1.22 meters, which equates to about 4 feet. The package that I'll be going over today comes with one 180 round magazine seen here. However, the scope and scope mounts that I have on right now do not come with the gun. They have to be bought separately, and if you want any additional magazines you can buy those separately as well. I'll be posting links to those additional attachments in the description below, but for now we'll switch to a different view and go over some of the features of the gun. So at this point in the video we'll go over all the features of the gun in detail, and I can start by telling you which parts are metal and which parts aren't, and honestly it's going to be a lot easier to tell you which parts aren't metal. The front handguard and stock are made of high strength polymer, and the cheek rest appears to be made out of wood with a vinyl covering. And then literally everything else on this gun is made out of metal, from the trigger assembly and the receiver all the way down to the outer barrel and even the adjustable sights. From here I guess we'll start at the back and move forward and just go over each of the individual parts. So at the rear of the skeleton stock we can see this little post, and this can be used to attach a sling. At the front of the gun on the left hand side there's also a ling to attach the second end of the sling to. Then we also have this little cheek rest here, and if you want to remove it you can just flip it over to the other side and release this release catch here. Once you've removed that, you can easily take the cheek rest off, and then you can just put it back on if you'd like with the inverse operation. Coming up to kind of the middle of the gun, we see the trigger guard and then the receiver. Just below that is the safety switch. Pushing it down will put the gun ready to fire. Pushing it back up will put it into safe. Just behind the magazine here is the magazine release. All I have to do is push that lever in and you can pull out the magazine. When inserting a fresh magazine, you just want to make sure that this little nub goes in first. Once you have that front part caught, you just want to rotate it back and it'll click into place. Just above the magazine is the bolt, and to operate it you want to pull it back, but it will not go back all the way if the safety is engaged. So you just want to pull the safety down, and then the bolt will go to its full extent, and then you can slide it back forward and a BB will be loaded into the chamber if the magazine is full at the time. Going over how to refill the magazine that comes with this gun, it operates similarly to most Airsoft AAG magazines. There's a magazine in the back here where you can load in up to 180 rounds, and you can close that back up. Flipping the magazine over, we see this little dial here, and by winding this you will move BBs from the reservoir part of the magazine into the main part of the mag. Once you've wound that dial for a little bit, it'll continuously move those BBs from the reservoir into the front part of the magazine. You just want to be careful not to overwind it because it can kind of damage the spring over time. Also, just behind this little hole here there's a little switch, and if you pull that back it'll eject the BBs that are in this little front part of the magazine. By holding the bolt back we can see some of the internals, and I believe this is where an adjustable hop-up switch would be for like an AEG version of this gun. Just above the bolt here we have the adjustable rear sight. You can push in the buttons on both sides to move it front and back. This will adjust your aim for elevation, but personally I like to leave it in the default position. Then finally coming to the front of the gun we see the rest of the barrel, we see the flashlighter here, this bayonet lug, and then the adjustable front sight. This package also comes with a little tool that allows you to adjust the front sight. You can move it in through the opening at the top here and then twist counterclockwise or clockwise to adjust the elevation. The last thing I'll be going over for the features of this gun is the little rail here that you can use to attach a scope. And again, the scope and scope mounts that I have here are sold separately, so they're not going to be coming with the package that you've seen so far. But in this video I'd still like to show you guys how to attach the scope mounts if you're thinking about buying them separately. The first thing you're going to want to do with the scope mount is move this lever all the way to the right, because that's going to put it in the open position. When you move it back to the left, that's going to tighten the clamp and then it'll be snug on your gun, but to attach it we want it in this position. If this middle piece is not flush with both the sides when the lever is in the open position, you can move it down and then move this little nub on the end to the either side. Once you guys have that adjusted, you're just going to want to flip it over, make sure this lever is in the right position as we discussed earlier, and then you're going to want to set it on the rails in the front. Then you're just going to want to slide the whole piece all the way as far back as you can. Once the rail mount is over the slide and it's as far back as it'll go, you just want to move this back to the left and it'll be in the lock position. The rail mount's not going to go anywhere. And at this point you can attach a scope. I have mine where I like it, but you guys can mess around with how far away you want it from your eye so it's comfortable to aim down sights. I think that's going to about wrap up all the features of this gun though, so I'm going to go ahead and go outside and start the shooting test. If there's anything I've left out, feel free to let me know, but for now we'll go ahead and go outside. So for the shooting test today we're just going to be using 0.25 gram BBs with the iron sights on this gun. I'm going to go ahead and set up some targets about 80 feet back and we'll get started with the shooting test. There we go, 3 for 3. Overall, I think this is a really great gun just in general. It's really accurate as you've seen, and if you're just getting into sniping or if you've been sniping for a while, I think this is a valuable piece of equipment to have in your arsenal. Just for the purpose of the shooting test today, we set the cans at 80 feet, but this is accurate for distances greater than that. Eventually though, at longer distances, it's going to be hard to be accurate with just the iron sights, and that's where a scope might come in handy. With that said though, I think that's going to be about it for today's video. If you have any comments or questions about anything you've seen in the video, feel free to post those down below. Also, for anything you've seen in the video so far, I will have links in the description to where you can go learn more about them or check them out. And as always, if you guys are looking for more to watch, I'll have some A&K videos on the right as well as links to them below. But I think that's going to be about it for today's video, so thank you guys for watching and I will see you in the next one.